Welcome back. So the next topic in our ABAP learning series we are going to learn is how to create a database table. Okay, and this is called as the custom database table. So what is custom and what is standard I explained in the previous lecture. All the predefined objects by SAP are known as standard object, and any object if we are as a consultant we are creating that are called as the custom object. Okay, so table is also object, so we'll call this table as a custom table. Okay, here also we have to follow the naming convention. All the table must start with Z or Y. Fine. So here I'm taking a scenario of employee master table. I will give this as a table name and field names. I want initially I'm creating with the 9 columns. Okay, later we'll add some additional columns. So initially I will create all these columns: mandate, employee ID, title, first name, last name, date of joining, department, CTC and currency. Those 9 table I will create, and in the next column I have like given the type, whether it is character, date, currency, etc. All I mention here along with the length. Okay, at the time of explaining the Mara table, which we have seen in the previous lecture, I explained what is important of this data type. This define the technical attributes, characteristics, whether it is character, numeric, dates, currency, that is defined by the data type at a domain level. This is length, description, and data element or domain. Okay, so either we can use the predefined data element domain by the SAP. Like here, I'm going to use mandate, which is already defined, created by SAP. So we don't need to unnecessarily create data element domain every time. So either we can use a predefined domain or we can use the create a new one. Okay, for practice, definitely we are going to learn how to create the data element and domain. Okay, so this first table will create with the 9 columns, and we'll create one more table Z employee underscore com, that is communication detail. Here also I'm taking the other 9 columns. Fine. So let's log into our SAP system, and first we'll create the employee master table with all those columns, and we'll also create the data element and domains. So here enter transaction code SE11, that is ABAP data dictionary T code, and for radio button for table, select this radio button database table. Here we have to enter the table name which we want to create, Z employee underscore master. I will click on create button. Fine. Here we have to enter a short description to identify the purpose of this table. Okay, so I'm just giving the name as employee master table. Fine. In the attributes here, we can see like created by, created date, etc. So next here is a delivery class. Okay, so here we have to select A. Whenever we are creating a custom table, we select with A, application table or master transaction data. Okay, so what is master data and transaction data? That I will explain in the upcoming session. So today we'll focus only how to create a table, and those all terms we'll learn later. Okay, customizing table, local table. So what is the importance of delivery class? This control the transportation part of the data. So delivery means, as I explained the landscape, we have development, quality and production system. So what we do all our development in the development system, then we move the data objects in quality to transport request. Okay, so what kind of data we can transfer of a table, that is controlled through this delivery class, and data of installation, upgrade or client copy. Client copy means we copy all the data from production to quality system for testing purpose. Okay, at that time also this delivery class plays an important role. Okay, so whenever you're creating custom table, just select application table. Fine. And in the data browser or table view editing, select this one, display maintenance allowed. If you select display maintenance allowed after creating the table, we can create the entry through from this table also with the SE69. Okay, we'll able to create a table maintenance generator that we are going to learn. So if you are not allowing here, if you select not allowed, then we can create a table from here, but we cannot add a record from these utilities. I will explain later. So here always for learning select display maintenance allowed. Okay, now go to fields. Now first field I want to create a mandate. Okay, we have to always create the client is specific data. This is client, right? 800. This client we call as a mandate. And I want to mark this key field. Okay, with the initial. Okay, with the initial values. In the data element, either we can create our own or we can select the existing one. Fine, we know client is 3-digit, so simply we can create a char 3. But for the client, there is a standard data element mandate. Okay, here we can see this mandate, data type client, length is 3. So don't create new data element unnecessary for this mandate field. Okay, client field. By default, use this mandate. Press enter. Okay, how I selected this? If you don't know, just click on this icon, and we can type any short description here. Okay, if you don't know, we can mark star. So what is meaning of star here? This means that there can be any word before this client, and then can be any other word after this client. Okay, system will select all the data element where it contains client at any position. Here we can see it is client. Okay, here it is client. Okay, then further we can reduce this by providing the character and length. Okay, so for mandate, don't create any new data element, just select mandate as it is. Now we can see data type is client, length is 3. Now second field will create, that is the employee ID. This is also my key field. This means that we will have unique record in this table, okay, based on the employee ID. I'm marking this as the employee ID with initial values. Fine. Now I want to create a data element, new data element for this employee ID. See here, if you observe, for creating the transparent table, we required Z or Y at the first position. But field name, it is not necessary to add Z or Y. We can give any name here. Okay. But again, for the data element, if we are creating custom data element, then we have to add data element with Z or Y. Okay, because transparent table is an object, data element is an object. Okay, and the fields are fields of a table. So here we don't require. So now I want to create a data element. So I will create with this ID. It is better to make a ready design before creating table. So we can just use the same detail as it is. Now I will press enter here. See ZK EMP underscore ID is not active. So we want to create it, right? So just double click here. Do you want to save before existing editing? Yes. Okay. Now here it is asking for the package. Again, same. Suppose we're planning to create this table in the database table and we want to move this to the quality system, then production system. Then here we have to assign some package. In your company, your basis team will give you some package, which package to be used. Okay, so that we can display through SE21 transaction code. Like I'm using Z ABAP package, which I created. If you have access, you can create a package. This I will cover later. Or most of the time, your base system give you one package. So either you can use any package in your system. Okay, then enter the package name here, or simple click on the local object. If you click on the local object, table will create, but we cannot transfer. So for practice, if you don't have any package, just select the local object. Okay, but in real time, always use some package which will be given by your base system. Then click on save. Then here we can create a new transport request. So I will give the name for transport. Let's say employee master table. This is the TR number through which this table structure will get transferred from the development to quality. Okay, as I explained, if you don't know, select the local object. Okay, now it is asking data element ZKAMP does not exist. Do you want to create? Yes. Now we can see here it is data element. Give the description here, employee ID. No domain or data type is defined. Okay, so as I explained, through data element we can assign the label, right? So go to first label field. Here for short we can give 10, 15, 20, 24. Don't bother about this, just give the length 10, 15, 20, 24. So whenever we are doing the screen designing or ALV report, so description will come based on this length also. So my label is EMP ID. For long, I will use complete employee ID. Here also I can use employee ID. Fine. So in the field label, use the short 10, 15, 20, 24 and give the field label here. Fine. Again, this will ask for the package. I just select local object. Okay, then $10 will appear, or just click on save. Fine. Now I will go back to data type. See, field label we have given, but data type is important, right? Whether this is character type, date type, what is the type of data this field is going to store. Either we can use a built-in type, like I will just select here from like char 10, I will select a char, I can give the length here 10, or we can create a domain. With domain we get some more control on this, that I will explain. So data element domain we can use the same ID. Okay, so here I will enter a domain ZKMP_ID. I will press enter. No active domain is available. Okay, again I will double click here. Domain does not exist. Do you want to create? Yes. Now here you can see domain. Okay, what is the domain I am creating for employee ID? What is data type? My data type is character. What is the length? So I want the max length of my employee ID. I want to keep as 10. Okay. And here, see, this is character field, right? So we can see the sign checkbox is disabled, but the case sensitive is enabled. So if you want to accept the data for the field where this domain is assigned both in the uppercase and the lowercase, then select this checkbox, case sensitive. Means if you pass the lowercase, system will accept lowercase. If you're passing in a combination of lower and uppercase, system will pass as it is, how you're passing. Okay, and if you uncheck this, by default, the data will get stored in a capital letter. So I prefer to select this. Fine. So at the domain level, we have to enter the data type, number of characters, and whether it is case sensitive or not. Okay. In the value range, I'm not going to enter anything as of now, but I will just explain. Take example, if you want to restrict the value up to certain values, okay, like for title, we want to use Mr., Mrs., company, etc. 3-4 value only I want to allowed. Okay, for all the fields where this data element is, where this domain is assigned. So we can add all the valid values here, Mr., Mrs., etc. So system will accept only those values which are assigned here. Fine. As of now, we are not adding any value here. So important part is data type, number of character, output line will come by default, whether it is case sensitive or not. So here we are creating a domain, right? So I will click on save. Okay, again I'm giving package. As I explained, if you're not sure, just click on local object. Fine. So here I save. I'm saving in the same transport request. Now this is new. Okay, so all the status of data element domain must be active. So here first click on check icon, or you can press Ctrl F2, and this is the icon to activate. So always activate data element domain. So now we can see this is active. If it is not in the active state, we cannot use it. Now we'll go back, data element, again press enter, click on check, no issue. Now this is also new. I will click on activate. Okay, now this is active. Now we'll go back. Now see here. Now here you can see the employee ID, data type char, and the length is 10. Fine. So in this way, what we have done, we have created our first data element and first domain. Fine. So first field is done. Then similarly, we have to create the remaining all the fields, title, first name. Either we can use the new data element domain, or we can use the existing. Okay. So for the first data element domain, I explained all the things. Now we can go little fast for creating all the remaining fields.